being an angel in someone's life, it's not doing a special miracle of any kind or a big grand gesture. It's just trusting when your heart gives you that nudge to say, here I am, and then be open to whatever it is that you're there to do in their life.
Welcome to Insights at the Edge Live. I am so pleased to be with you and to be with Rachel Macy Stafford. I can already tell you she is such a loving presence, and it's a great honor to be able to bring her on to Sounds True One. We'll be having an after show for Sounds True One members here, and so stay with us. You can write your questions into the question and answer box and be part of our after show and talk to Rachel Macy Stafford. All right, here we go. My guest is a New York Times best-selling author of the book Hands-Free Mama, Only Love Today and Live Love Now. She's a certified special education teacher whose personal strategies are universal invitations to embrace life with urgency and cultivate connection despite the distractions of our culture. Her blog is a source of inspiration for millions of readers. And with Sounds True, Rachel Macy Stafford has written a new book. It's called Soul Shift: The Weary Human's Guide to Getting Unstuck and Reclaiming Your Path to Joy. Rachel Macy Stafford has also created a 7-hour audio series with Sounds True, the Soul Shift Sessions. Rachel, welcome.
Hello, it's so good to be here.
It is, as I said, a terrific honor. And I want to start by sharing with our listeners a way that I learned more about you that really struck me, which is, like many people, I went onto your website and I said, okay, let's go to the section that says about me. I want to learn more about Rachel. And you wrote then a section about me, and you said, if you want to know me, let me tell you what really matters to me. And then you proceeded to talk about what really matters to you, and we're going to talk some about some of those themes. But right here, how did you think I want to introduce myself by talking about what really matters to me?
Well, if I think about what I want to know when I meet someone, it's not the details, the superficial details about their lives. I want to know what makes you feel alive, what's broken your heart. You know, do you get nervous in certain situations like I do? Because I feel like when we really want that true connection and belonging, you know, we have to just cut through the superficial stuff. And so I thought, if I really want people to know who I am and hear my voice and to know where I'm coming from, I want them to know those sacred parts of me, you know, what really matters.
I love that. I mean, you're the kind of person, if I found you at some party where there was a lot of superficial talk, I would definitely be like, Rachel, let's go outside on the porch and let's talk. Okay. So when you introduce yourself about what really matters, I'm reading this, you talk about your daughters, and I'm sure we'll talk about them more in this conversation. And I kind of thought to myself, yeah, check, her daughters matter. Her husband matters. Yes. Writing really matters to her. Yes. Like, I'm following, and yeah, I'm interested. Functioning as a teacher in the world, teaching really matters to you. Okay. But then as you kept going about what really matters to you, I started getting thunderstruck, if you will. What really matters to you is encouraging other people and even recognizing angels, other people functioning as angels, and you being an angel in the life of other people. And then I had to take a moment and really take that in. So I'd love to know more when you talk about recognizing someone as an angel. Tell me a story about that. who's an angel for you, and how do they play a role in your life?
Well, so as we're going to probably delve into tonight, my daughters have really brought me out of my comfort zone of just being a person who really likes to have things planned out and to know what's ahead and just be able to predict. And having Natalie and Avery in my life and different parts of their personality and their journeys have really brought me out of that security, that feeling that I need to know what's coming. And I've learned to trust through being their mom. And something that this past couple years, like many parents of teenagers, the pandemic and the isolation of having to be learning through the computer, and it kind of created this perfect storm for my younger daughter. And she was diagnosed with scoliosis when she was 11. And so a lot of body image issues were already coming into play. But then she went through this pretty devastating time with some friendship issues, some body issues. And it was interesting because when we would drive to her physical therapy appointments, and she would ask me, why is this happening to me? Why are these bad things happening to me? And she would even say, like, I'm praying, but I don't think anybody's hearing me. And what I told her was, when we were just at the physical therapist's office, her physical therapist was really the only person that I feel like Avery could really open up to, because our physical therapist also has scoliosis. And when I was watching the two of them connect, and someone was relating to Avery in a way that I couldn't, because I'm not experiencing that, I thought to myself, this is an angel that has been put on our path. And even though we don't know if, surgery's coming, whatever's going to happen, we don't know. But I said to her, in the car, I said, do you think about the way that you just connected with Sue and how she made you feel in that moment? And I said, I think that is, in a way, an answer to prayer, or to knowing that you're not alone in this experience. So that's, off the top of my head, that I think about her physical therapist a lot, and just how she, over the span of time of her working with Avery, really helped her to think something's not wrong with me and I can get through this.
And then this associated notion that it's possible that we can be angelic humans in other people's life. I mean, I found that so inspiring. And I thought to myself, as someone knocked on the door and I was in the middle of the meeting, and I thought, I'm not being an angel in their life right now. I'm going to have to try a little harder. Tell me what that means. Like, how do you actually invoke that for yourself so that you can have that kind of impact on others?
Well, I have learned through this soul shift journey, which is all about listening to the guidance that's inside you, that when I feel a nudge to reach out to someone or to speak to someone that I feel like they really could use, a little bit of encouragement. Off the top of my head, I think about this beautiful cashier that I met at the grocery store when I was going through a hard time. My cat was at the vet. I didn't know if he was going to be okay. And she came around and she hugged me. And I thought, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and tell her what that meant to me after Banjo was okay. Well, we ended up developing a friendship. Her name's Miss Suna. And over time, she got fish, so she couldn't work at the grocery store because of her health. And she invited me to her house. And I noticed that she would just barely open the door. And she said, my face, I'm having surgery on my face. You can't see me like this. Well, after 6 months, her face did not heal. And finally, she opened the door. She said, please come in. And she cried because she said, I needed someone to come and remind me that I am not alone. And I thought, this is why I want to keep listening to that guidance, because probably 5 or 10 years ago, I never would have gone to a stranger's house. I would have said, well, that's not safe, or this is a bad idea. But that's not what my heart and my soul were saying. Go visit her. And she's, I know now that her daughter is very far away from her. So she feels like I'm kind of like a surrogate daughter to her. So I just feel like being an angel in someone's life, it's not doing a special miracle of any kind or a big grand gesture. It's just trusting when your heart gives you that nudge to say, here I am. And then be open to whatever it is that you're there to do in their life.
All right, so here we are. We're not the small talk types, you and me, so we're just going to keep getting right to it. In your introduction of yourself, what really matters, then you went further beyond recognizing human angels and being that type of presence. You said, what really matters to me is my faith. And I thought, I really want to understand more about that. What is Rachel Macy Stafford's faith?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's something that I keep very close to my chest because I don't really fit into a category to say I'm this or I'm that. To me, I believe in something bigger than myself. I call that God, but to me, God is love and God is everywhere. And I find God mostly in those experiences of trusting my heart is telling me to go somewhere. I find God when I'm out walking in the sunshine. And that's when I hear what I feel like I'm supposed to do with the gifts that I have been given. And when when I'm in my public writing spaces and they want to know, what are you? Are you a Christian? Are you this? Are you that? And I never like to put myself in a box because I don't want to put anyone else in a box. And that's one of the things that I really love about Sounds True, and why I decided to publish with Sounds True is because I want people to be able to read my work and feel like they are included and it can apply to their life, that you don't have to believe a certain way. Because if you believe in the power of love and the power of connection, and you bring that into the world, I just think we're all going to be so much better off if we could all just lead with a loving heart, whatever that looks like to you.
I think my question about faith is when really difficult things are happening, whether it's personal to you or it's in your daughter's life with the severe scoliosis, or in your community or in the world at large. How does your faith play in? How do you draw on it?
Well, I know that when I got some very devastating news about my younger daughter, as I was saying, she kind of like it was a perfect storm with the pandemic and her physical body and her emotional state. And she started doing things that were very self-sabotaging, very damaging. And my instinct was to one night just to check, and to check on her. And that is when I discovered just how severe the problem was. And I remember going into my room and saying, I don't think I can do this. I don't think that I can walk through this with Avery. It's too painful. And I don't know if it was a prayer or a plea, but I just remember looking at that ceiling fan going around and around, and I felt the tears. And a little voice inside me said, but this is what you've been preparing for on this very journey, that this soul shift journey of listening to these painful, uncomfortable feelings and being able to sit with them. And that little voice said, you are the best person to be able to walk beside Avery. And I feel like, really, for me, God is inside me, and I need to just listen to access that. Because I spent so many years just trying to please the world, like to do what I felt like the world wanted me to do. And that's how I got so far off my authentic path. That's how I got so joyless and depleted. And when you're just spreading yourself so thin, you can't possibly do what it is that you truly feel called to do.